Hi, Vanderhoof families. I just want to welcome you to our virtual back to school night message. I'm Miss Rodriguez, principal here at Vanderhoof. We're going to go through some of our slides and just talk a little bit about overviews at Vanderhoof Elementary School. Normally we do this here at school. This year we're going to come to you virtually. Those of you that have had kids here in the past, this is pretty common information that you've probably heard before. Feel free to kind of skip through the slides if you want. Those of you new to Vanderhoof, I hope you enjoy the information and feel free to ask us if you have any questions when we're all done. This first slide is our mission and vision here at Vanderhoof Elementary. We really believe in teaching the whole child and focusing heavily on social emotional connection and relationships in order to achieve academic success. So we try to ground everything we do back to this mission and vision. Little history about Vanderhoof. We celebrated 50 years last year. It's pretty exciting. And there is a lot of tradition and legacy, which is really centered around community and again, around the whole child. We believe really strongly in our relationships and how to foster that here. We have a positive behavior system that we use here at school, and it's the acronym is SOAR, which stands for Safety, Outstanding, Accountable, and Respectful. And we loop this into everything that we do, including the learning in the classroom, as well as the way that we interact and how we acknowledge positive behaviors throughout the building. We have a focus on social emotional learning, and this year I'm excited to share we have a full-time social emotional learning specialist, Mrs. Schroeder, who has joined our team. She will be continuing our work around Second Step, which is a curriculum we use to help just teach kids how to interact with one another, how to recognize their emotions, and how to really solve problems with each other, as well as using zones of regulation, which we started a few years back and continue to build on so that kids can acknowledge what emotion they're in and how to self-regulate. And then we always have academic celebrations throughout the year. This year it will look a little different, so more to come on that, but we will definitely still be celebrating all of the wonderful learning here at school and online learning as well. We take a lot of pride in the way that we create our school and how it is a welcoming environment. So these are just some of the things that we like to do here at school, as well as online with our online learners. We have different ways that we greet each other. We make sure to have a morning meeting or a community circle every morning, both in person and with our remote learners. Students also are greeted with different ways of just saying hello, and in person has a fun little new social distancing greeting that they get to choose from. So you can see the poster. Let me move my little floating head here. These are throughout our building. Oops, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so you can see the poster behind me here, and it just has some fun little ways that people can greet each other in the morning so that we can still practice social distancing. So some of the kids get to choose from those when they come here in person. And then I know that they're doing some fun things within our remote learning environments as well, and how they greet each other and enter into their classrooms in the morning for community circles. So we make sure to have all of that in place each day. We also use restorative practices throughout the day and in all of our different settings. And our big focus is honoring voice and having students advocate for themselves and their own learning. In the past, we've had a student advisory committee, which we are going to try to also do this year. And so stay tuned on more information on that. Last year it was students from every grade level came together and met with me and discussed different things that they wanted to see or felt that they needed here at Vanderhoof, and they helped really lead our school and put into place some things that really supported students. And we spent a lot of time, especially last year, talking about the library and what we wanted that to look like as we begin our second phase of our bond project. So their voice was definitely needed, and we will continue to lean on them as we move forward with our bond project and other ideas that we will need to make our school what they want it to be like to help them learn. This is the staff list for this year, so you can kind of look at that and see some of the returning faces that we all love and some of our new faces that we love too that have joined our team. Everybody can be found on our website as well as their Google Classrooms and their specific team and teacher websites too. So feel free to check that out. These are our paras and our secretaries, as well as our custodial staff and our facilities manager and our kitchen staff as well. So you can see some of those names. This slide is just all about me. Those of you that know me and met me last year know that I am a Jeffco born, raised, and grown leader here in Jeffco. Went to Jeffco schools and have been in education for almost 20 years now. Have done a lot of different roles. I've been a teacher at both the middle and high school level, as well as an administrator at the middle and elementary level, and a district leader. So I'm really excited to be here at Vanderhoof. These are my kiddos, Emilio and Mario, both now at RV, and my family. So family is really important to me. My husband and I both grew up here in Golden, and so we didn't move too far away. So we're really happy to be raising our family here in Arvada. We couldn't ask for a better place to live and work. And feel free to ask me any questions. I also have 2 puppies, so my other fur babies here that are a big part of our lives. We like to get out and hike and just get into the mountains. That's our big getaway, as well as play a lot of hockey. All right, some other pieces about us here at Vanderhoof and ways to get connected and get involved. We have a wonderful PTA, and I would suggest checking out their website. You can find PTA's website by just going to our Vanderhoof School website and clicking right on their link, right on the front page. We have PTA meetings once a month, as well as accountability 3 times a year. And we also have Watchdog Dads. Watchdog Dads are volunteers that typically come to the school and help out during the day. This year, unfortunately, we don't have any volunteers inside the building, but we are working and hoping that we can have some volunteers to help support us outside, maybe before and after school, as well as at recess. So more to come as we learn more about volunteering this year. We'll definitely be spreading the word, and we would love to have you involved. Office procedures, these are just some of the things that we've always done, but just reminders. Again, you can find this on our website. If you are calling in for an absence, there's our phone number. There is a number you can call 24 hours a day and just leave your student's name, the teacher and grade, and the reason for the absence. If you're planning on being gone more than 3 days, you need to fill out a pre-arranged absence form, and please let us know. I actually need to sign off on that form. So if you let a teacher know, you actually need to call the office. That will help us so that all of those wheels are all turning at the same time and we're all on the same page. You can look through all these bullets here. There are some specific things we have to follow in regards to truancy and attendance. All schools have to follow these in Colorado. And we will be following up with you if we haven't heard from you or we don't know if your child is sick. So we'll be making phone calls and just checking in. Sometimes we send letters out if you've been absent a few days. So just check in with us, give us a call back. If your student shows up after 8:15, they are tardy, so please send them to the front main door. They'll be health screened in if you're coming in person, and we'll get them checked in there. Pick up and early messages. If you want to pick up your child early in the day, or if you want us to deliver a message to them, if you would please call and let us know. If you're picking them up early, just let us know ahead of time, and we can go and get them and bring them down to the front doors. And we'll have you sign out. Just make sure you have identification there so we can verify. And then if you need us to message your kiddos during the day, just call the main office. Just make sure you call us before 2 so that we can make sure we have that message delivered in time before the end of the day. In-person students, this is just around attendance. If an in-person student goes home sick or stays home, it's considered like a normal sick day, and students will get their work when they return to school. Teachers will not be providing remote learning assignments for in-person learners when they're sick or when they've been asked to maybe be in quarantine or isolation as we figure out all these next steps with COVID. And standard makeup policies just apply. So our standard Jeffco makeup policy is if you miss 1 day, you get 2 days for every day you're absent. And we'll just be working with you guys and being flexible. So just reach out to us if you have any questions. Remote students, if you, for any reason, are unable to attend your class, a parent or guardian just needs to call you in and excuse that. And then again, standard makeup policy applies there as well. Things that we would love for you guys to go over with your kids during the day, in the morning before you come to school or even in the evening, just making sure you're checking for those symptoms. We linked the guidelines in here. They're also on our website. We just want to make sure that if your student is feeling ill at all, if they have a fever, chill, sore throat, runny nose, cough, any of those pieces, that they stay home. We are required to send students home if they have any COVID symptoms, or if they're feeling ill in any way that would be related to those pieces. So feel free to look at those guidelines or reach out if you have any questions. And we know it's easier if we can catch that before they're here, to save you an extra trip as well. All right. Some other pieces to what we do here at Vanderhoof that we're extremely proud of. This goes back to when I mentioned we teach the whole child. These are some of those things that we focus on every day on top of our academics. I'll kind of move me out of the way there. You can see the zones of regulation here in the right-hand corner. It just helps kids identify their emotions and where they're at. And most kids have a really good understanding of what color they're in, and know when they're feeling like they need to take a break, practice breathing. We do a lot with how to self-regulate and manage anxiety, stress, and frustration, which are just great lifelong learning skills. And it's something that kids can use both at home and in school. So feel free to grab that if you're a remote, if you have a remote learner too, to use at home and maybe place in their learning environment. Second step is our problem solving over here in this left-hand corner. And that's just a program that we use, some curriculum that we use with students, and our social emotional learning specialist, as well as our social worker, in partnership with our teachers. We'll be using those lessons with all of our students. And again, it's just great ways to practice how to solve problems and how to interact and build social skills with one another. And then, like I mentioned earlier, our positive behavior system, which is our acronym of SOAR. Safety, accountability, outstanding. Oh, I went out of order. Safety, outstanding, accountability, and being respectful. So those are things that we like to recognize, and we give out little SOAR tickets, and we'll do different kinds of celebrations and surprises. All right. Let's click on to the next page. Okay. So this is our SOAR matrix, and we have these all over in each area of the building. So we have a matrix for the hallway, for inside the gym, recess, cafeteria, all different places, so that students know how to identify what types of behaviors and expectations are needed for each area and how to get recognized for doing wonderful things within each of those and practicing their SOAR behaviors. And teachers go over this with kids as well as our paras, and I do as well. Oh, you can see one of our little SOAR tickets up here. So students get these. I know those of you that have been here in the past probably heard all about the SOAR tickets and the SOAR prizes. So we'll be getting that up and running as well. I know they're already earning SOAR tickets. We're going to look at how we do things a little bit different this year with prizes, but it's still going to be amazing and fun, and I know kids are really going to love it. I just recently did a Screencastify video, which is this, which I'm showing you today, where my head is kind of on the presentation for code of conduct for each grade level. Just reminders of positive behavior and how to be kind and what things we need to be doing here at school as well as at home when we're interacting with our classmates and teacher. All right. These are some of the think sheets that we use. Again, if you've been here in the past, you might see these come home. Sometimes we have days where we might be in that red zone and we get kind of worked up and we need to talk it through. So these were the sheets that we use to help talk it through. Sometimes kids write their feelings out. Sometimes they'll draw pictures. And then we always like to send it home and do a little reflection of how it ended up going and how it was resolved. If we feel like the situation warrants a phone call, we will call you. However, this might just be in a backpack, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. A lot of times it's just a way to pause and reflect and learn from a situation and how best we can handle ourselves and own our behavior. Academics. Vanderhoof is known for having really great academics and excelling, and we want to continue that tradition. Our students do really well here, and we set them up for success as they move on to middle school and high school. This is our curriculum, and I'm going to pause for a minute and hand off to our instructional coach, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about our curriculum and our assessments. Hi, I'm Michelle DeJosia, the instructional coach at Vanderhoof. I'm going to talk a little bit about our curriculum as well as the assessments we have here at Vanderhoof.
We follow Common Core state standards, and that also aligns with our Jeffco Bridge to curriculum. Each teacher on their website should be sharing the units of study for all contents on their website. So take a look at each teacher's individual website for more specifics on each grade level units. We, as a school, use Math Expressions as our math curriculum, and we use Lucy Calkins for our reading. Beginning next week, your student will be taking a MAP assessment, and MAP stands for Measure of Academic Progress. This is an assessment that our district uses. It's given 3 times a year in math and language arts. It's not a time test. It takes roughly about an hour, and we give this in grades 1 through 5. A MAP test is adaptive, and so we're not looking for 100% right answers. We're looking to see approximately where the student gets 50% of their questions correct, 50% wrong. What this does is it gives us the data we need to guide our instruction, and it helps us know best how to meet your child's needs. So it gives us some specific strategies that we can use to work with your child. Information will be coming home from teachers about the results of this assessment in a few weeks. An assessment that we use for K through 3 students is DIBELS. This determines early phonemic awareness and phonics development. It's a brief one-on-one assessment that your student was given on the assessment days that we had at the beginning of the school year. We use this data to make some decisions and drive our instruction. It also helps us to form reading groups, and we support your students based on this information. This assessment is also given 3 times a year, and we'll be giving it again in the winter as well as the spring. And you should be receiving the results soon if you have not already on your students' results from DIBELS. Again, that's from kindergarten through 3rd grade only. In the spring, we have CMAS, which is Colorado Measure of Academic Success. This is our statewide assessment. We did not have it last year due to COVID. We are still waiting from the state to hear news for this year. This is a test that's aligned with Colorado academic standards, and this test is looking for mastery. So it's determining what a student has mastered at each grade level by the end of the year. Again, more information will be coming on this as we hear more from the state. Our teachers at Vanderhoof work in what we call professional learning communities. Our team of teachers come together weekly, and in their PLCs, they identify essential learnings for each unit. They create common assessments. They look at assessment data, and they really look at how they can support children, whether it's planning interventions or extensions and next steps as a team. Even though we have remote teachers this year, they are still part of our PLCs, and all teams are working together just like they have in the past. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue and talk a little bit about our Unified Improvement Plan, also known as the UIP. We call it like the umbrella of what we do here. It's where we house all of our work for Vanderhoof and our goals for the school that we report to the state. And all of those are based on data and on the assessments that Ms. DeJosio just talked about, especially CMAS and MAP. So we use those pieces of data to write goals for the school, and then we make sure that we align that to what we're doing in our classrooms and during our PLC, or professional learning community time. So for us, our focus here at Vanderhoof is really around reading and literacy, social emotional learning, and we've really lifted up this idea of differentiated learning for all kids so that we can make sure we're meeting the needs of all of our students. And just like we mentioned a little bit ago, we use our professional learning communities to really hone in on that data and set up interventions and instruction that best meets the needs of all of our kids. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Communication this year We've really tried to hone in on our website and make sure that our website and our Google Classrooms are a hub of communication, as well as my Sunday newsletter, voicemails, and emails. So please always feel that you can reach out by phone or through email, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. But those other pieces are there for us and for you to communicate with us on. If you're looking for specific information, you'll most likely find it on our website or our teachers' websites. The last slides on this, I'm not going to go through in the video. I will leave them in the slides and attach the slides separate from the video so that you can read through those. It just gives you a little bit more information about zones of regulation and second step, and some of those other pieces that we use here at school that really align with social emotional learning. So those will be in the slideshow, and I just want to say thank you for listening and watching. And again, feel free to reach out via email or by phone if you have any questions or just want to talk. And don't forget to join PTA, because you can also see us there in those meetings and be a part of the school. Thanks so much. We enjoy being with you guys, and we can't wait to see you all on Zoom or at arrival and dismissal. Take care, everyone.